Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters Season 1, Episode 7 is called Attack from the Deep. And this is the episode where the show decides that forests and bugs were not enough. Now, the ocean itself gets to play Duel Monsters, because apparently in Duelist Kingdom, you are not just fighting your opponent. You are fighting nature, the weather, moon physics, and whatever nonsense Pegasus installed under the island. The episode starts with Joey being very proud of himself because he beat Mai in the last episode. And honestly, let him have it. Joey needs this. He has been treated like the group's human mistake for most of the show so far, so one win makes him act like he just conquered Europe. Taya and Tristan get annoyed with him bragging, but Yugi tells them to let him enjoy the moment. That is fair. Joey won a duel with a baby dragon and a clock. If that happened to me, I would also never stop talking about it. Then the group realizes they are hungry because nobody brought food to the dangerous billionaire card game island. This is already stupid. They packed decks, gloves, star chips, and friendship speeches, but apparently no one thought to bring sandwiches. These people are wandering through Duelist Kingdom like lunch is a surprise event. Joey and Tristan smell cooked fish and immediately run toward it because they have the survival instincts of cartoon dogs. They find fish near the ocean and start eating it before asking whose food it is. This is not even duel shenanigans yet. This is just normal idiot behavior. You do not arrive on a mysterious island, find unattended fish, and begin chewing. That is how you get poisoned, kidnapped, or challenged to a duel, and in this case, it is the third one. The fish belongs to Mako Tsunami, the ocean duelist. Compared to Weevil and Mai, Mako is actually not that bad. He is dramatic, yes. He talks about the sea like it raised him personally, yes. He is carrying a harpoon around teenagers, which is a little much. But he is not a slimy cheater like Weevil, and he is not doing perfume fraud like Mai. He even lets the group eat with him. So at first, he seems like a pretty decent guy. Then he admits the fish was bait. That is the first big shenanigan. Mako did not just cook lunch because he is generous. He cooked fish to lure duelists over like they were raccoons. And it works instantly because Joey and Tristan have no defense against smell. Mako is basically fishing for people. He is a fisherman who looked at Duelist Kingdom and said, "Why catch fish when I can catch children with card decks?" Mako explains that he wants the prize money to buy a boat because he believes his father might still be alive somewhere at sea. This is actually the one sincere part of the episode. Mako's father was lost during a storm, and Mako hopes to find him one day. So unlike some of the other duelists, he has a real emotional reason to be there. He is not fighting for perfume money or bug ego. He wants a boat that is grounded. Still, he challenges Yugi with a harpoon in his hand. So let us not act like he is completely normal. Yugi accepts the duel, and the arena rises out of the water. Again, nobody reacts enough to this. A giant dueling platform just comes out of the ocean like Pegasus built a secret card game oil rig. This island has better infrastructure for monster duels than most cities have for public transport. The battlefield is split between land and sea, and Mako immediately has the home field advantage. He uses a sea deck, so of course the ocean side helps him. This is the same basic idea as Weevil using the forest, but honestly, Mako does it better because the ocean actually feels scary. Weevil hiding bugs in trees is annoying. Mako hiding monsters underwater is at least kind of cool. Mako summons Fiend Kraken, and the monster disappears under the water. That is already ridiculous because Yugi cannot even see what he is supposed to attack. In a normal card game, your opponent's monster is just on the field. In Duelist Kingdom, your opponent's monster can apparently hide below sea level like it is avoiding taxes. Yugi is standing there trying to duel, and Mako's monster is doing submarine warfare. This is where the episode's main nonsense begins. Mako's sea monsters are boosted by the ocean field, and they can hide underwater. So Yugi is not just losing to attack points. He is losing to invisibility, geography, and water privilege. Mako's whole strategy is basically, my monsters are stronger because wet, and you cannot hit them because also wet. Yugi summons Horn Imp, and Fiend Kraken destroys it from underwater. That is not even a fair fight. Horn Imp shows up on dry land like a normal monster with manners, and then a squid hand jumps out of the sea and slaps it into death. Mako is just sitting there smiling because his deck is designed around being annoying in 3 different directions. Yugi realizes he needs to fight the sea itself, so he summons Feral Imp. The idea is that Feral Imp has electricity, and electricity should work against water monsters. This is one of those moments where the anime uses playground science. Water plus electricity equals cooked fish. Simple enough. For a second, Yugi's plan makes sense. Then Mako reveals jellyfish. Jellyfish absorbs the electrical attack, because of course it does. Yugi tries to electrocute the ocean, and Mako says, "Actually, my jellyfish eats lightning." That is such a childish counter. It feels like two kids arguing. My monster shocks your monster. No, my monster is immune. Why? Because jellyfish. And the episode accepts that. Jellyfish just sits there like a floating rubber glove and ruins Yugi's plan. Then Fiend Kraken comes back and destroys Feral Imp. So Yugi's smart idea gets beaten by a transparent blob. That is humiliating. Imagine being the king of games and losing momentum because someone summoned seafood insulation. Then Yugi tries another plan. He summons Silver Fang and uses the full moon card to power it up. In a normal game, that would simply increase the monster's stats. But this is Duelist Kingdom, where every card effect has to accidentally affect the weather. Mako points out that the moon controls the tides, so Yugi has basically helped him flood the field. This is maybe the funniest part of the episode. Yugi plays a card to make his wolf stronger, and Mako goes, "Thank you, idiot, you activated ocean science." Suddenly the water rises, Mako's sea monsters get even more advantage, and Yugi loses more of his land. Full moon is supposed to help Yugi, but instead it turns the duel into a beach disaster. This is peak Duelist Kingdom logic. A moon card does not just boost a wolf, it creates a tide. The tide expands the ocean. The ocean hides monsters. The hidden monsters attack. Somehow this is all legally part of the same card game. Pegasus did not design a tournament. He designed a court case where every card can be interpreted as literally as possible. Then Mako summons Kiryushin, which is basically his big sea serpent boss monster for the episode. It uses the rising water to create a tidal wave and destroys Silver Fang. At this point, Yugi's side of the field is almost completely underwater. He has barely any land left, and Mako's monsters are circling like a bunch of smugfish with lawyers. The episode pauses here for Mako's backstory. He talks about his father being swept away during a storm, how his father tied him to a post to save him, and how he believes his father may still be alive because a lifeboat was missing. This is the part where Mako becomes more than just sea guy. He is still weird. He still baited hungry people with fish. But now you understand why the ocean matters to him. He is not just playing a themed deck because he likes sharks. The sea is tied to his father, his childhood, and the thing he has been chasing. And this is where the episode has a little more weight than the Weevil duel. Weevil was just a bug gremlin who needed to be humbled. Mako is not really evil. He is intense and dramatic, but he is fighting for something. Yugi even respects him. The problem is that Yugi also has someone to save. His grandpa's soul is still trapped because Pegasus is a rich lunatic with a magic eye, so Yugi cannot just lose because Mako has a sad boat story. The duel continues, and Yugi is down to one usable patch of land. He summons Giant Soldier of Stone in defense mode. This is funny because the whole field is flooded, and Yugi's answer is basically, "I put down a rock." But this is not just any rock. This is a very useful rock with main character timing. Mako summons Great White Terror, because apparently having a kraken, jellyfish, and sea serpent was not enough. He needs a shark too. His monsters surround Giant Soldier of Stone, and it looks like Yugi is boxed in. Mako has the water, the monsters, the advantage, the backstory, the fish trap, everything. Then Yugi does one of the most ridiculous but iconic Duelist Kingdom moves. He orders Giant Soldier of Stone to attack the moon. Not a monster, not the opponent. The moon. This is the kind of thing that makes early Yu-Gi-Oh! Both stupid and amazing. Yugi looks at the card that caused the tide, realizes it is the reason the sea expanded, and says, "Then I will destroy the moon." And the show treats that like genius strategy instead of something a child says when losing a pretend fight. The funniest part is that it works. Giant Soldier of Stone destroys the full moon card, and the tide recedes. Mako's monsters are suddenly exposed. The hidden sea army is now sitting on dry land like a bunch of fish that made bad life choices. Yugi has basically turned off the ocean by punching the moon with a rock, man. That sentence should not exist, but it does. Once the water is gone, Yugi uses Curse of Dragon with Burning Land. This is another piece of nonsense. Curse of Dragon combines with Burning Land, and suddenly Yugi is able to wipe out Mako's monsters. The battlefield gets burned, the sea monsters are exposed, and Mako loses all his life points. Yugi wins. So the final strategy is Mako hides monsters underwater, Yugi accidentally raises the tide with the moon, then Yugi destroys the moon, drains the ocean, summons a dragon, burns the land, and defeats a fisherman. That is not a duel. That is climate change in 12 turns. The biggest duel shenanigans are obvious. First, Mako's monsters can hide under the water, which means Yugi cannot attack them normally. Second, sea monsters get a field bonus because they are in the ocean, which is fair in concept but ridiculous when stacked with invisibility. Third, jellyfish absorbs electricity because the episode needs Yugi's plan to fail. Fourth, full moon accidentally helps Mako by controlling the tide because Yu-Gi-Oh cards apparently affect lunar physics. Fifth, Yugi wins by attacking the moon card directly, which is one of the most playground rules moments in the whole early show. Sixth, Burning Land and Curse of Dragon wipe out Mako's entire exposed field, turning the ending into a dragon-powered barbecue. The non-duel shenanigans are also strong. Joey and Tristan eat random fish without asking. Mako uses cooked fish as bait for duelists. The Ocean Duel Arena rises out of the water because Pegasus cannot host anything normally. Mako carries a harpoon around like that is acceptable tournament behavior. And everyone continues acting like this island is not a legal nightmare. But what makes episode 7 work is that Mako is actually likable. He is dramatic and weird, but he is not just a cheater. He gives the group food, he has a real reason for entering, and when he loses, he respects Yugi. That is a huge improvement after Weevil, who reacts to losing like a bug got stepped on. Mako takes the loss with honor, gives Yugi the star chips, and the group leaves him on good terms. That is why this episode feels different. The duel is still full of nonsense, but the opponent has dignity. Mako's strategy is unfair because the ocean is doing half the work, but it fits him. He understands the sea, he builds his deck around it, and he uses the field better than almost anyone so far. He is not cheating with perfume or hiding behind a cocoon. He is using his environment like a hunter, a weird hunter who baits children with fish, but still. Episode 7 is basically Duelist Kingdom at its most insane and most fun. It takes the field bonus idea and pushes it into cartoon science. The ocean hides monsters. Jellyfish eats electricity. The moon moves the tide. A stone soldier attacks the moon. A dragon burns the exposed field. And somehow, by the end, it feels like Yugi made a brilliant move instead of committing crimes against astronomy. So the episode's real lesson is simple. Do not eat mysterious fish on a tournament island. Do not duel a fisherman near water. And if the ocean starts beating you in a card game, just destroy the moon. Apparently that is allowed.